nice little theme from Mortal Kombat Armageddon, especially when it starts Konquest. Welcome back to another chapter of Final Kombat. Last time we just went through the short prologue, very brief at that, and apparently Raiden and Liu Kang have witnessed these night terrors and visions in Raiden's amulet of Armageddon, the end to all things. And they apparently know who Blaze is, because Raiden informed Liu Kang of the secret from the Pantheon that mortals aren't supposed to know. But meanwhile, soon after the events of my last epic, The Return of the Dragon King, Liu Kang and Kitana were in Edenia. They were just going around the Edenian palace, relaxing, taking in the scenery from their lethal fight with Onaga. And unlike Armageddon, Liu Kang is his normal, lively self, because he actually had his body resurrected normally instead of being possessed by the Hoenn chains, or however they pronounce it. And so, Kitana actually gifted Liu Kang an Edenian opal, or an opal, or whatever that jewel is. But it was an engagement gift to him, actually. And apparently, there's a mysterious Edenian and Oriental that has witnessed the same thing of Armageddon. They received visions too. And the Oriental himself also has the amulets, but with golden etchings instead of silvery ones. So, it was a pretty brief prologue. So, here's chapter 1. And this actually starts off Konquest mode. So, continuation 1. Welcome to the jungle. Pun intended. Under an archway and 2 carved dragons made of dark granite, an elderly man wearing a large cape and a regal outfit of dark crimson black and blanche innards stood over a spacious rectangular balcony looking over a vast, foggy valley of steep, rolling hills and a forest of evergreen. It was an opaque and humid night, although he was never irritated by it, but rather something different. And this would be the first scene of Konquest here.
It is done. Taven and Dagon have been hidden. The dragons, Orin and Karo, will be at their sides.
I trust they will be safe in the caves. I only hope Shao Kahn shows no interest in Earthrealm.
It is unlikely. His attention seems focused only on Edenia. The pyramid is completed. You are certain the battle will take place here, Delia?
I am. I have sent Blaze to monitor the realms. When the time has come, he will signal the dragons and the quest will begin. Are we doing the right thing, Argus?
Your visions determined this course of action. The powerful warriors to come. The corruption of a Mortal Kombat tournament. The chain of events you foretell will lead to a conflict that will destroy us all. These combatants must be dealt with.
I am talking about Taven and Dagon. Must they be involved?
Our sons are the only ones we can trust. Furthermore, they will prove their worth before the Elder Gods. They will bring honor to Edenia.
And to you, if they survive.
We have equipped them well, and the monoliths will hone their skills. This must be done. Dagon and Taven will remain dormant. When they are revived, they will embark on a quest to save the realms from Armageddon. May the Elder Gods watch over them.
Taven, it is good to see you have awakened. Do not worry. Your strength will soon return.
Orin? What happened?
You are encased in stone to protect you from harm until I receive the signal to awaken you. You are no longer in Edenia, Taven. You are in Earthrealm.
I don't understand. Why am I in Earthrealm?
Your father has a very important task here for you. Your brother, Dagon, will also be participating. It is a competition between the two of you, from what I understand.
Competition? Last I remember, Dagon and I were summoned to Father's throne room, and
there you were both rendered unconscious. I don't know the details of this quest. I was charged only with hiding you in Earthrealm and awakening you when the time came. That time is now.
no. This is all too strange. Where is my father? I wish to speak with him.
I will send you to his temple. Find the main chamber and place your hand on the altar. Your father will speak to you there and present you with a weapon to use on your quest. No doubt your brother has been awakened by Carl and will be sent there shortly.
Why will I need a weapon? Very well, Orin. Lead the way.
Sorry for the interruption, guys. Alright, where was I? Alright, so I just played the intro here. So, here we are within Earthrealm. There was a monolith. You've seen all this already. Orin. Competition. Yada yada yada. So, I guess we're here now. He wound up in a muggy jungle at the edge of a precipice, which ended behind him, and a waterfall was making its thunderous roar beside it. He made some swift punches and kicks to loosen up his stiff muscles from the extended slumber before he made the first foot of his journey. He took out a thick sheet of paper which looked as if it aged as long as he was asleep. This map should lead me to my father's temple. He followed the dirt road to some fallen bare branches blocking it. He made some strong maneuvers to break through, which added some sensation to his rusty limbs. After some steep declines, as well as removing more coarse detritus, he spotted a skinny woman clad in an indigo garb and matching headband as she stood before a durable wide bridge. Now, keep in mind, this is the first of one of the changes I've made compared to Armageddon. One of many. So, you won't see Katana in Konquest, but you will in this fic. She was nearly startled as she heard the sudden ruffle from behind, and made out the muscular figure clad in bright golden and black armor. Who are you? I am Katana, the Princess of Edenia. I've been roaming down the jungle in search of my allies, though I must remain discreet, as I had more personal matters outside of my watchful kingdom. I am Taven. My parents are Argus and Dahlia. Edenia, you say? I want to be on my way there, but I wound up far away from it in Earthrealm. Katana stood upright and agog. Taven? The mythical demigod of the Edenian god and prophet? Indeed I am. No show of arrogance. I'm on a quest myself, in search of my father's weapon located in his temple yonder this jungle. So you're on your way to look for an artifact in the Protector's pyramid? Katana felt a little uneasy. Then she held her chin in deep thought. If you really are the son of Argus, then I challenge you. Prepare for battle if you dare behold my wrath. She took out her dual steel fans while Taven put up his dukes. She blocked Taven's advances until he spun-kicked her in the chest. She regained her composure as she jumped to her feet and made her own advances with her sharp reflective fans that were clearer but lethal. They left some minor abrasions in Taven's arms as he recoiled, like fists clashing with the precise fans, until she unleashed some irritating sound waves while the fans spun against each other. A little sonokinesis. Driving the rookie back, he continued to lash harder, even to the point on emitting small flames from his arms and fists. His brute strength and resilience were returning to Taven blow by blow, which seemed to make Katana waver. The fans, though, were decent shields upon Taven's rushes. though she'd still feel some discomfort, making her vulnerable to another blow or two. This gave the newbie the advantage over working her weary muscles. Katana's kicks were the most direct and impactful, although Taven's thick cover helped endure the strikes. Just like a ferocious bear, though, he backpedaled once she dropped as he recalled he was only fighting a woman. Down but not out, Katana stumbled slowly back on her feet, and she grew impressed with the newcomer. Well, the Elder Gods must have blessed us yet. You truly are the skilled warrior of Argus. Where is your brother Dagon? Sorry. I haven't seen him since before my slumber. My guardian Orin said he'd meet me soon. He mentioned that he and Cairo needed to prepare us for some competition. A competition between you two? This isn't good. I'd been on a lone journey to gather all my friends for Armageddon as prophesied by Blaze. But since I'd heard you're one of the chosen along with your opposing brother, I felt great relief. Although I was searching a seclusion, even slipping away from the kingdom without noting anyone. She pointed Taven toward the ruins. Go, follow the dirt road till you reach a clearing. A village shall await you, and the temple shall be towering over it like a steeple. Go to it, and hurry. I look forward to seeing you again. Taven thanked Katana and did just that. After a few beats when he left, Katana came to an inclination. The Protector God and his wife were dead. He came across a thin stone with illuminating green etchings both shining at the top and down its body. Taven, place your hand on the monolith. Taven did just that. And I believe you would see a scene here. Then a few at a time, Taven used his honed, not-forgotten melee skills to deal with the hordes. He even recollected a powerful technique that literally shattered the wave of enemies with his ground pound. It was a critical move, even combating some flames toward them, making them stunned for another counter. He also practiced his extensive ability by somersaulting while juggling his opponent. He also recalled how to grab and throw or strike an enemy head-on. With all these skills mastered, another swell of white light enveloped, and he was back in the Botan Jungle within seconds. Was I inside the monolith? How is that possible? Maybe Father will explain when I find him in the temple. He soon came to the same fork in the road and took the left passage with the stone wall removed. He wound up with some small statue mounts at each side of him before he hesitated as he witnessed taller maws. One side was spitting out darts while the other received them before the pattern repeated. He timed the spits rhythmically and evaded each volley with his somersaults, which helped him gain momentum, clearing as he removed the prickly, thick brush and wound up near a primitive village, like a square littered with behemoth houses. He saw each structure have a fierce man exit from each one, surrounding Taven. He braced himself as he clobbered the gangsters, especially with his handy, flaming ground pound, which decimated several thugs almost instantly. I hear that's a very crucial move. By the time the way was clear, he spotted a colossal temple with an eerie face that could have belonged to those scary portal mounts found in the Elder God halls. Believe me, that's creepy. There was another square with the same type of criminals from the previous area, only this time Taven wiped them out easier thanks to the battle axe he picked up. Some of the terrorists hesitated to attack the demigod as they noticed him behead their comrades, yet still he bashed through them. He didn't mind the puddles of blood stunning the stone floors, staining as his eyes scanned another sacred structure.
His clan any longer. Looks like I've finally arrived at my father's temple. I didn't know he had one here in Earthrealm. I'm sure he'll explain everything once I locate him in the main chamber.
He was met up by the 20-foot-tall thing goddess, which was holding her hands in prayer to the elder gods, as he found some unknown, though valuable relics. At first, I wasn't sure what to do with them, but I just added them anyway. You'll find them in the Konquest playthrough. I suggest anonymous affection for that.
What are these images supposed to represent? That looks like Mother having one of her visions. And this must be Father speaking with the Elder Gods. These sleeping figures might be my brother and I. How long was I unconscious? And what's this? It appears as if my brother and I are attacking some demon. I have no memory of that. What does all this mean? Where is everyone? Doesn't seem like anyone's worshipped here in ages.
Suddenly, several of these fanatics descended on the epicenter, and Taven fought off each of the 3 waves diligently. His bear-like hide, as well as the lethal grabs and throws or punches, even his minor pyrokinesis, was more than enough to exterminate them. Conveniently, an aperture rose its door after the enemies were killed, although Taven needed to watch his footing, while a side statue exhaled a wall of fire. The streak nearly burnt him as he was anxious to reach the center chamber. It then became a sort of obstacle course as he encountered more of those same mouths which kept on breathing out flames like a dragon's. Thanks to his momentum and flexibility, Taven managed, even in the steep incline, before meeting another deadly trap. Around another corner there was a straightaway, but the floor shook for a brief second. The reprieve didn't last as the ground continuously quaked by those wide bases of a series of slammers coming from the ceiling. They even had rows of spikes underneath to make the trek more fatal. Thanks to memorization of their rhythmic patterns, Taven went straight away. And those are like the instant death traps. He ran across the grates, then through some thick cobwebs before he entered another wider room where the black-armored thugs awaited him. Taven kept on the same strategy as before with his battle axe and lethal ground pound, which made the melee easier to manage. Where not only he had more wiggle room, but he hardly noticed the long balcony in which he threw his opponents over. Their death trap wasn't entirely safe afterwards, as the 2 chests were littered with poisonous gas. Taven was still eager to find more artifacts within his father's sacred temple, but not all treasures were beneficial. Taven constantly dropped and rolled to give him more oxygen till his airways were clear enough. He continued through where he met more of the same lethal pillars, and it wasn't easy remembering their patterns since the constant slams distracted him from the current traps. There were a few errors as the spikes caused some bleeding on his arm. Thankfully, some of the relics like Kataro's flag provided a cast for one of his limbs. As he gotten further in the straightaway, the slammers became less overwhelming, unlike the first one. After descending a narrow ramp, he beheld 3 stairwells at the sides and front connecting to a higher platform. There was a smaller side pedestal in which the engravings from the monolith were on the top. Taven touched it and let out a gong noise as it emanated red light, while the center ledge shined bright blue, which caused Argus to arise. And I believe he speaks to him here.
Taven, the time has come for you and Dagon to prove your worth to Edenia. I must choose my successor as protector of the realm. I give you each a weapon of great power. You will find them on the wall behind this altar. Your mother has also left you items of great importance. You will find them in her temple to the north.
What are they? What is their purpose?
You must find Blaze, a fire spawn created by your mother. Use the items we have given you to defeat him. The victor will not only succeed me as protector of Edenia, but he will receive a gift worthy of a god. Go now, and may the Elder Gods watch over you.
Sector to warship. Rendezvous for immediate evac.
You guys seen that, right? Before the transmission finished, the demigod was knocked out by one of the rockets in which a robot shot, let out a quiet metallic noise as it moved, before it broke off its camouflage. Sector, the red robot assassin, emerged and spoke into his communicator.
Grandmaster Sector, the prisoner is awake. Good. Now I can get the information I need.
What are you?
I will ask the questions. I need to know what you learned from the altar in the temple. What message did you receive? Answer me!
You are going to regret having toyed
Increase
with the son of
power!
Argus.
What information did you acquire from the altar?
Grandmaster Sector, the ship is being attacked!
Incoming fighters! Special forces!
Takunin Warship, this is Sonya Blade. You are in violation of the Earthrealm Accord. Surrender immediately or risk annihilation.
Remain at your posts. Initiate code K0NN1H5.
Affirmative.
Estimated time for impact, 30 minutes and counting. The announcer prompted Taven to look at Suhao's watch, in which he found back at Argus's temple. He began to sprint, while also collecting more of these leftover scraps around. At the topmost corridor, he found a few deactivated units. One of them he managed to snatch the card key from, which allowed him entry to another corridor with more of the same sentinels. Hell, one unit actually kept Kung Lao's lost razor intact courtesy of the card key. He was access to a chamber with a large rotating fan as well as an array of cybernetics. Upon his strategy, he uppercut and even grabbed and tossed his foes into the fan, which splattered their circuits and sprinkled oil everywhere. Due to the sun leakage, the impacts were able to stun some of the approaching units before being thrown aloft. Taven, with his keen vision, found an axe emitting a neon green glow from a side room before he ran further. With about 10 minutes to spare, according to the watch, Taven hurried into another card key access point where he met another swarm. He hardly heard Sonya demanding to surrender the ship. Thanks to the adrenaline rush, Taven was able to unleash some wide blasts of fire onto the terrorists. He was finally able to progress with assistance from the constant demolitions of the vessel being attacked. He managed to find Sector's rocket and Jade's bracelet amongst the chaos. With the battle axe ground impact and the increased pyrokinesis, he plowed through another squad. Ran into a narrow corridor with more units, ambushed Taven. One of them even snatched his Special Forces ID badge before he reached another card key access point. I have to find some way out of this ship and back to the portal.
I have to find some way out of this ship and back to the portal.
You are not leaving until I get all the information I need, even if I have to beat it out of you. Fight!
Curved his arms, intimidating his opponent. Taven used all the golden dragon moves he mustered thus far, even countering Sector's own Kempo. Then he noticed to watch himself as the machine could endure more than a fleshy human. Taven thought he'd be at a disadvantage, even with Sector's precision, but the demigod's elemental abilities made some even footing. Unfortunately, the harder lunges gave Taven more pain as he switched to the Drake sword he was equipped with at the start of his journey. This made him slice and dice Sector's durable chest cavity, which made him falter. With his rockets beneath his feet, He soared and stood. Sector took out a pair of pulse blades, making it more like an on-guard duel. Although with Taven's fiery lunge similar to Johnny's shadow maneuvers, the licked flames made Sector falter, which gave him the home field advantage. Over the Amazonian landscape, which I believe the Botan Jungle is in, the warship were several feet above as it sharply descended toward the thick vegetation. Spotting a side window, Taven threw Sector's retrieved rocket, which exploded a large hole, which was twice as wide for his body to leap out. Making contact with some tall, thick canopies, he cushioned his fall onto the sudden jungle floor. So, the cutscene plays here.
Finally, I found a way out of the warship. I'll have to get back to the portal and return to the cave. Maybe Orin has some idea who these strange warriors are. I can't help but wonder if my brother Dagon has encountered the same foes I have.
Welcome back, Taven. You were away quite a long time.
I was ambushed. More than once.
By your father's holy men?
No. His followers apparently abandoned the temple long ago. Warriors in red occupy it now.
This is not right. Something is amiss. Did you learn more about the quest? Where is the weapon your father left you?
There was no weapon. I'm assuming it was stolen long ago. As for the quest, apparently it's a race to combat a fire spawn named Blaze. Whoever defeats him will succeed Father as protector of Edenia.
Yes, Blaze. He is the Watcher who sounded the call to awaken you. But how can defeating him in battle grant you the title of Protector? Your mother was mortal. You are only a half-god. Transforming you into a full god would require...
Require what?
What else did you learn?
I must travel to the north. Mother has left me an item in her temple. I hope it's still there.
Must travel north, yada yada yada. Orin's eyes widened. Sector? He's still alive? Impossible! I also noticed the black dragons had increased in numbers. I believe that temple is now currently in a territory called Arctica. The Lin Kuei occupied that place, and Sector was a part of that clan several years ago. I will send you there at once. Orin conjured another portal without hesitation, and Taven went through it post-haste. Phew! This was the longest, toughest chapter I ever had to pull off. Glad to be done with this one, and I hope the others won't just be as long, which, unfortunately, they kind of are. So, here are the songs for that. Also, dare I say that Cobra, Kira, and Cabal were cut, as much like Ian in 616 Entertainment. I wasn't into the faction wars between the red and black dragons. I also made Katana meet Taven, another Edenian, who was determined to prevent Armageddon. Though it would be cool for two of them to get to the same path, but in different directions. And MK Confessions gave me the idea that since I felt 2006 was too long from 1995, he said it'd be a few months upon Katana's desperation after meeting Blaze. I hope the relics would be helpful for Taven in the long run, like making up Hotaro's flag used as a cast for his bleeding, or Suhao's clock to keep track of the time to escape the warship. Although, the artifacts were less relevant later, I just lost interest. So another strenuous chapter done. Hopefully Taven would find the answers in Arctica, which I spelt wrong, especially with the sun rising the red dragons and Sector's revival. Until then, this is the Ekron Rider signing out, and I'll see you all next time.